Hey there, witches. Welcome to what is technically now the end of the 31 days of witchcraft. I'll be doing 4, since I didn't do the 28th, the 29th, or the 30th, along with the 31st. Because there's just no one way to do anything, is there, witches? So, like I said, welcome to the end of the 31 days of witchcraft. My name is Autumn. Won't you come sit with me in the dark? I'd already planned on putting a few of these together into one because I've already mentioned them a few times in other videos. So it seems silly to do whole videos on them specifically when you've heard me tell the same stories before. We'll start with what religion I was raised with. I was technically raised Methodist, but my own father was searching for his own path, so we went to many, many different churches. And I remember thinking at even that age, that was before I started working in a library or found my own path, and I really, really enjoyed the Catholic setup, what they had in the church, and the fact that this woman was revered as highly as God and Jesus. I really liked that. I loved the structure and history of the small amount of Judaism I was exposed to as well. And I'd like to think that if we'd had a Buddhist temple or a Hindu temple, or even a Muslim, I just lost words. I know temple isn't the right one. Mosque, thank you. Anywhere near us at that time, he probably would have went to those too, and that would have been a very interesting experience. The mosque here has an open house, usually once a year, to invite people in to see what it's all about. And I really do hope they do it again this year after all this nasty business is over with, because I really would like to go. So yes, the answer to day 28 was I was raised Methodist, and that did actually help me shape where I ended up going on my path, because they are some of the most open-minded, welcoming, and accepting of, not the most, they are a very welcoming and accepting aspect of Christianity. The next one was about death, and I only wrote down like short little blurbs about what the question was. Basically, how do I feel about death? Yes, and how does it impact what I do? I don't fear death. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I don't exactly work with ancestors, but I do talk to them. Now, if we're referring to her holy death, yes, I do. There she is. She is somebody I actually do use a lot and speak to a lot. She gives me guidance and inspiration. Never judge a book by its cover. You don't know what's underneath. So in that aspect, death has had a very large impact on my life. More so than I ever thought it would. That was day 29. Day 30. Day 30 I had been thinking about yesterday, and I realized I was thinking about the wrong question. I thought the question was, how do I feel about the popularization of witches through television? Between the OG Charmed, the new Charmed, Motherland, Fort Salem, The Good Witch, and then other various shows that have had a witch character. They usually pretty much all portray them in a similar fashion. I mean, I always laugh and be like, I wish we could do any of that stuff that they do. But I've often said before that they can't make a TV show about what it's like to be a real life everyday witch, because it'd be very boring. And that's where I started a page called the Everyday Witch. And I kind of hashtag all my stuff with it because, yeah, an everyday witch, it's not very exciting, not very Hollywood. But the question actually was, how do I feel about the popularization of witchcraft and social media? And that actually made me go, huh, because I'm like, am I hearing a cat outside or a siren? Siren. Okay. Because, okay, social media and witches. Yes, for the good, and a little on the, mostly for the good. It gives you a sense of community and connection that right now has been invaluable. It has provided uh, many instances of inspiration and clarity, and yes, and that is so beautiful, and just that camaraderie that a lot of us cannot get elsewhere right now. Negatively, it does create some envy in a lot of people that, why don't I have that? Why can't I have that? Why can't I be that? I have to do all these things. I have to spend all this money. I can never be this good. How do I even start? And that's why a lot of my stuff I end up saying, if you have questions, please ask me. Please, please, please. Because you don't have to spend a dime. You don't have to do anything. You don't even have to have anything to do this. And I've said that many times before too. But yeah, I think that the popularization of witchcraft through social media has been a good thing, but much like social media with anything these days, and it's very poignant I'm saying this now. And if you're wondering why and you're looking at this in the future, just look up what was going on around May 29th, 30th, 31st in 2020. And I'm not talking about COVID. It's putting it out there more. You're seeing it more. I'm not saying that witchcraft wasn't always there in that force. I think it was. But because of social media, it's in your face more. You're learning about it more. You're seeing things on social media that you never thought you would see just out there in the open like that. Yes. So therefore, all of a sudden you learn, oh my goodness, my neighbor's been a witch. She's posting on Facebook, on social media, on Instagram, on Snapchat, on Tumblr, I never knew this. When that's maybe the only aspect of her out of the closet you'll ever see. She's always been a witch. She's always been your neighbor. You just didn't know. So that can be good, that can be bad. My own experience with that particular thing, they've not seen me post anything on social media, but another neighbor who has seen me mentioned to them. And I have never received any negativity from them at all. They're very, very Christian, very good Christian. Never a word. So, yeah. It creates envy. It can create, they used to call them the witch wars. I say that a lot like it was something really big, and in all reality, it was just a bunch of people who couldn't agree on what side of paper to write. And that is what happens. I liken it to a group of queens getting together in a room. That doesn't happen. There's always one queen. You worship that queen. You can't have a group of queens. It doesn't work. It can be like that when you get several aspects of witchcraft in the same room. They all want to do it their way, and they can't agree to just do it one way. That's primarily what that was about. So that's where socialization, popularization, that's the word, has been beneficial, because people are seeing, there's no one true way. Battlestar. There are many ways. That's why we love it. Which leads me to day 31, the final day of May. And I'm going to butcher it because I can't remember the words. What is the most important lesson witchcraft has taught me? What is the most important lesson I can impart onto you all who have been watching this? Be yourself. Always be yourself. Be true to yourself. Don't hold yourself back to what you think you're supposed to be doing. Never in a million years would I consider myself a Wiccan who uses runes and reveres her. And as I said, call myself a Wiccan, because Two different pantheons right there. Vastly different. But they work for me. So there is no right way. There is no one way. Sorry, there is a right way. There's no one way. Whatever you do is your right way. You don't have to spend all the money. You don't have to buy all the garb. You don't have to buy anything. If you choose to, there are many, many brilliantly talented people that make the most fantastic wares out there. But you don't need any of it. You just need what's inside you, and Divine knows your true intent no matter what you're trying to accomplish. Just like I was doing this diligently every day, and then it sort of started lumping together. Our area is hitting its peak during this COVID crisis. So things have been distracting. This has been the best, though. And I thank Helen for putting this out there for us to do. It has been a welcome distraction. It has really helped me get back. I was out in the weeds again. It happens. And it helped me reclaim the space that I'm currently sitting in. It's helped me find things I thought I didn't even know I still had. Including that part of myself that's still there. The biggest lesson that you can take away from all this is that it's all good. It will be all good. Just be yourself. Be true to yourself. And everything else will work out at the end. Thank you for being with me through all of this. And until next time, witches, be safe, be sane, and blessed be.